A beautiful day for a ball game here at Wrigley Field. 75 degrees, winds out of the northeast at 10 miles an hour. Fourth and final game of the four-game set between the Cubs and the Expos. All eyes turn to Sammy Sosa with 42 home runs. Big Mac plays later on tonight against Tony Gwynn and the San Diego Padres, who will face the Expos next at Olympic Stadium. Here is Montreal's starting lineup for their manager Felipe Alou. Manny Martinez leads it off in center field. Then Michael Barrett, the third baseman. Rondell White hits third and left. Vladimir Guerrero, 4 for 9 in the series, their cleanup man. Brad Fulmer, a very impressive first baseman. Then it's Chris Widger, the catcher. Mike Mordecai, the former Atlanta Brave, gets a start today. Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop, hits 8th. And Mr. Thurman pitches, bats 9th against John Lieber, the Cub right-hander, seeking win number 9.
The Pepsi defense is Rodriguez, Goodwin, and Sosa in right field. Houston, Nieves, Morandini, and Grace in the infield. Joliet, Jeff Reed behind the plate, and John Lieber on the hill. And John looking for his 9th win of the year. ERA under 4. This is 21st start. As you can see, control has been terrific. Just about a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Career-wise, an even 500, 5-5 against the Expos with an ERA of 4.52 in 13 games.
John has not won in nearly a month. C.B. Buckner will call the balls and strikes. Angel Hernandez, Joe West, and Larry Vanover, the rest of the umpiring crew. John had a huge lead against the Mets, you remember, his last time out. Could not hold it on a very windy day at the ballpark. Gave up 12 hits and 9 runs in 4 innings and a third. And it's Aaron the Bear Beanie Baby Day at the ballpark.
The retired Aaron the Bear Beanie Baby Day. Enjoying, I guess you'd say, a final day in the sun.
Well, you might say that. I definitely wouldn't. Here's Manny Martinez to lead it off. He's only 1 for 13 in the series, and a quick strike is over 0-1. The Cubs gained a game in the standings last night and moved ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers for 5th in the division. Cubs 14.5 games behind the Astros, who were beaten by Kevin Brown last night. The Reds just a game and a half back now in the Central. At 62-43, Cincinnati finally got their home record back to 500.
Probably the best news for John Lieber is that Jose Vidro is not in the starting lineup.
1-2.
Vidro has killed Lieber over the course of his career, but he pinched a nerve in his foot in the first game. He has not been back. So we show you the two skippers, Felipe Alou and Jim Riggleman, as the Cubs bidding to tie up the series.
1-2 and 1-3. Martinez goes down swinging for out number 1. John's had the strikeout pitch working a lot. That's 42 punch outs in his last 6 games plus. And a good start here in the top half of inning number 1.
Good hard slider. And right-handers have a hard time with John Lieber.
So it'll be up to the left-handers in this lineup. If Montreal is to do a lot of damage, you'd think. Here's Michael Barrett playing third base today for the Expos. And he looks at a quick strike. Barrett, all of 22 years of age, hitting .279, 3 homers, 30 runs batted in. The Expos have a real dilemma on this ball club. Who's going to be their everyday catcher? The Expos love this kid. They think he's a much better receiver, a better handler of pitchers than Chris Widger. Widger's got the long-term contract, and the stats really bear that out. The ERA for this Montreal team is a 1.5 less when Barrett's behind the plate. Today, though, it's Chris Widger behind the Pentagon. 1-2 to Barrett.
Well, Barrett does give you some flexibility because he can play the infield, and he is their catcher of the future. I don't know how long they will go with Widger behind the plate, but Widger is much improved with the bat, and this is a team that desperately needs some offense. Now they're going to go to the slider. Let's see if he can keep it low and away.
Bouncing ball, funny hop. Tyler hung with it. It hit the lip of the grass, and he made a good play. 2 down.
Well, that was a whole lot better than it looked, because that appeared to be a routine hopping ball to third. Then where the grass meets the dirt, the ball flattened out. And as you can see, Tyler had to go abruptly to his right, able to stay right with it. This turns out to be a fine play.
The Cubs defense yesterday was terrific. Very good so far here today. And here's Rondell White, 5 hits in the series. White hitting a cool .316 with 12 homers and 37 runs driven in. 5 lifetime hits against Lieber and 3 of them home runs.
I would think that John should have a pretty good day today. One of the big reasons, he faces exactly one left-hand hitter, and that's Fulmer. And Bedro and Fulmer did the job against Lieber in Montreal.
1-2.
Those were the only 2 guys to really hit him well. Both of them had 3 hits in that game, as John lost that one 6-1. But usually against a right-hand laden lineup, he goes right through him.
A little chopper toward Nieves at short. Good play. 1-2-3. Top of the first for John Lieber. Here come the Cubs at a sold-out Wrigley Field. No score in the first. The Expos go down in order. 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Here's Jim Riggleman's Cubs Pepsi lineup with Goodwin, Morandini, and Mark Grace. The top 3. Sammy Sosa has had a good homestand. Henry Rodriguez, Joliet, Jeff Reed, the catcher. Jose Nieves, Tyler Houston, John Lieber pitches, bats ninth against Mike Thurmond of the Expos.
And the defense for Felipe Alou and the Expos: White, Martinez, and Guerrero left to right. Barrett, Cabrera, Mordecai, and Fulmer in the infield. Widger behind the plate. Mike Thurmond on the mound for his 19th start.
Thurmond 3-7, a .438 earned run average. He's been victimized by 3 blown saves by the Expo bullpen and 1 game decided on a game-losing error behind him. So he has been a tough luck pitcher for the Expos. Only 26 years old, but a big man, 6'5", 200+ pounds. A bunt to the first baseman. Goodwin outruns Fulmer, and it's a leadoff bunt single for Curtis.
Well, that's what Curtis should be doing more of, especially with Fulmer at first. There's no way in the world that you're going to get the coordination between Mordecai and Fulmer playing together very sparingly in this series. And we'll watch it again from the high scoreboard camera. Curtis lays down a good bunt, and then he's able to outrace Fulmer to the bag, and nobody else can get close.
So Curtis aboard. Let's see if he'll do some running. He's only 2 out of 6 in stolen bases this year. Mickey Morandini, the Cub batter, and he looks at ball 1 low. Morandini 1 for 9 in the series, hitting .260 with 3 homers and 30 driven in.
Thurman's not overpowering. He's got a fastball, a curve, and a change, but he has to move the ball around and keep it down to beat you.
Big hole on the right side if Mickey can pull the ball that way, with Fulmer holding Goodwin aboard.
Despite the fact that he is a very big man, he's really not overpowering. It's about 215 pounds.
47 strikeouts, 38 walks, and 97 innings of work this year. So he does have to hit his spots to be effective for this Montreal team. He's dropped 3 consecutive decisions for the Expos. Have gotten very good starting pitching the last couple of weeks. And that is outside. 2-0 to Mickey.
This defense trails the National League in that department. Let's see if the Cubs to try to put a little pressure on him. Widger is not the best at catching it and throwing it.
Curtis, pretty good lead at first, not going. The 2-0 dances over the outside corner.
So now if you're going to see some movement, you'll see it right here. And if you're Mike Thurmond on the mound, you're thinking about giving your best move at first base.
2 balls and a strike in the first inning. And Goodwin back safely, standing up. Standing room only crowd, it appears, today at Wrigley Field. Absolutely gorgeous day for baseball. 1 week ago we were sweltering in the low 100s. Runner goes, pitch fouled away. In fact, last Friday it was 103 degrees at the ballpark, highest humidity ever registered in the history of Chicago. Today we're about 30 degrees cooler. And we've had delightful weather this entire series, and hopefully it'll stay that way throughout the weekend, with the Astros coming to town for a Friday afternoon doubleheader starting tomorrow.
And the wind blowing straight in again here today. Not a cloud in the sky and bright sunshine.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Goodwin started, then stopped, and Mickey sprays it back out of play. Game number 106 for the Cubs today. A record of 49-56. 14.5 games behind the Astros. The Cubs try to get back to a game over 500 here at home. The 2-2. Curtis not going, and it's lined over the shortstop's head into left field. Goodwin around second. He'll chug to third. First and third. Nobody out in the heart of the order coming up.
You're going to run on Rondell White every chance you get. And so Curtis Goodwin, knowing that there was no way in the world White was going to throw it to third base and allow the trailer to go to second, easily coast into third base. It's not the hit and run, but it works out the same way as Mickey Morandini lines it into left center, and Curtis Goodwin knows he's going to make it easily.
So here's the 9th best hitter in the National League. Mark Grace at .324, 11 homers, 60 runs driven in. Tallied hit number 2,000 in his career the other day. All of them, of course, in a Cub uniform. And Grace now 8th on the all-time Cub hit list.
And if Mark lifts a fly ball to right field, Curtis better get those running shoes tightened up, because he'll have to beat a great arm home.
1 ball, 1 strike to Grace, who needs 71 hits now to tie Jimmy Ryan with 2,073 hits as a Cub in the all-time hits department. Sammy Sosa limbering up in the on-deck circle as the Cubs try to strike first here against the Expos.
A runner on third, less than 2 outs, delivering 76% of the time. A pretty good number for Mark Grace. And he's looking for something he can hit in the air. 1
ball, 1 strike. Sliced it foul over third and into the seats, and he's behind 1 and 2.
I was watching Tony Gwynn as he got hit number 2998 last night, and he was facing a left-hand pitcher who threw a high fastball right in front of his face, and he just tomahawked it into left field just as easy as if he knew it was coming.
He's amazing. He really is incredible. The 1-2 foul straight back, and as we said in our open, it's hard to believe that in this great game of baseball, which has been around so long, you can still see some firsts. A chance tonight to see something that's never happened in the game before. If Mark McGwire hits a home run, and if Tony Gwynn gets 2 hits, it'll be the first time 2 men have reached the milestones of 500 homers and 3,000 hits in the same game. And that's certainly Hall of Fame territory, obviously, for Tony Gwynn and Mark McGwire. And what's even more spectacular, McGwire hit his 400th homer last year. He was going to hit number 500 in the next season. That's amazing. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Grace. The pitch. Again out of play. Good battle here in the first inning, as Thurman has yet to retire a man.
Well, Thurman is not a strikeout pitcher, so you don't figure that Mark Grace is going to go down on strikes. At least that's the game plan. He's only fanned 21 times this year in close to 400 at bats. I would send Mickey Morandini and not be afraid that Mark would miss one.
The 2-2 pitch. Runner doesn't go, and it's again fouled straight back. It might be Beanie Baby and baseball day for the first 10,000 fans at this foul ball rate continues here in our first inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Little pop left side. Barrett gives chase, battles the sun, the wind, and waves goodbye as it's into the seats again. Best seat in the house for that youngster. The Cubs today will approach 1.8 million in attendance already. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Ripped to right field, base hit. Goodwin scores. Mickey will stop at second, and the Cubs lead by a run. 3 straight hits to open the game, and Grace just outlasted the Expo right-hander.
RBI number 61 for Mark Grace as he gets a fastball. And with Fulmer having to hold on Mickey Morandini, there was a huge gap on the right side, and Mark Grace hit it right through that gap.
And now Thurman has real trouble, for here comes Sammy Sosa. Sammy's hit 6 homers in the last 7 Cub games and hit number 42 yesterday. A high, majestic drive that Rondell White thought might be blown back by that hawkish wind, but no such luck for Montreal, as Sammy briefly led Big Mac, now is tied with him once again, is second in the league with 95 RBIs too. 1-0 Cubs lead. 3 straight game opening hits. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0. Took a little off, and Sammy out in front evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was the first good breaking ball that Thurman has thrown. That's the first time Sammy's ever seen that curveball. The only guy on this team that's ever seen Mark Thurman throw anything has been Jeff Reed. And so far, Goodwin, Morandini, and Grace certainly enjoyed what he's been throwing.
Sammy hitting a cool .303 this year. The pitch. Couldn't stop himself. It's 1-2.
Things heating up in the month of July for Sammy. He kept the home runs on pace in June, but the batting average was somewhat down, although .288 is awfully good for a slugger. In the month of July, Sammy's been hitting just about everything.
2 on, nobody out. Cubs lead by a run. 3 straight hits to open up the game. The 1-2 pitch under his chin. Look out, Sammy. 2-2.
Well, I would think a curveball would be forthcoming after a little chin music. Sammy goes down from under a high fastball. And from the Southwest Airlines Plainview camera, we'll take a look at some good reflexes.
So look away, Sammy. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think they're going to go in with a fastball, but I'd throw a hook.
The pitch. Broken bat liner to the shortstop. Good play. Cabrera 1. Second base. On to first for 2. A double play. Very nicely turned. Cabrera to Mordecai to Fulmer. Morandini to third. Now 2 men out.
Well, that fastball almost cost him a base hit. But Cabrera, a pretty good shortstop. Sammy breaks the bat, bidding for another run batted in, and Cabrera right there. Good backhand flip. And they opted for the defense today with Mike Mordecai at second base over Wilton Guerrero. They turned a double play. So if you're Thurman on the mound, you can get out of here with just 1 run, considered a moral victory. But Henry stands in between Mike Thurman and that accomplishment.
And he's hitting .331 this year. And he looks at a quick strike over the outside corner. It's 0-1. Henry with 20 home runs, 72 batted in. That .331 batting average is the 6th highest in the National League. He's really had a terrific second season with the Cubs. And he's been able to do it because he's played every day, because he's been able to hit left-handed pitching consistently and with power.
And the only thing that's really stopped him this year has been a couple of little nagging physical injuries. Outside of that, no pitcher has had a lot of success, and the greatest strides he's made, Chip, was the ability to show the Cubs that he can hit the left-handers. That has allowed him to stay in the lineup just about every day. And he's also hitting some of the lefties for power, which is something he wouldn't do in years past.
The 2-1 is over for a late strike call. Henry not too sure about that one from C.B. Buckner. And the count moves to 2-2. The pitch. He struck him out, and it is a moral victory for Thurman. Gives up 3 straight game opening singles, gives up only 1 run, facing Grace, Sosa, and Rodriguez. After 1, Cubs 1, Expos nothing. 1-0 Cubs as we head to the top half of inning number 2. It'll be Vladimir Guerrero leading it off for Montreal. Boy, you look at his numbers and Sammy Sosa's numbers at this same time in their careers, and it's staggering what the Montreal right fielder has done in his brief major league career.
He's been attacking the first pitch, and he's never really hit John Lieber very well. I think I'd go to the slider and try to negate his first pitch power. This young man is awfully strong.
He's tallied 4 hits in the series, a home run as well. He's hit 22 of those, 75 batted in. And today plays in his 251st consecutive game for Montreal, now just 8 away from tying Rusty Staub for the all-time Expos consecutive game streak. In fact, 251 is the second longest in baseball right now, behind B.J. Surhoff of Baltimore.
Well, you're right about the numbers compared with Sammy, and what you're seeing really is a young Sammy, a guy that will just keep getting better and better.
The 1-2. Lieber staying away as you'd expect. Misses with ball 2.
Just throw him another slider, keep it down, and you're probably going to get him, although this is one of the tougher men in the league to strike out.
I think it's only 3 times in 70 at bats since the All-Star break. And he won't strike out this time. Ground ball to short. Guerrero can really run. Nieves throws him out, however. 4 up, 4 down. Lieber 1 strikeout, 3 groundouts in this game. That's a sign he does have that sinker ball working.
He's also facing that lineup that's laden with right-handers. And to a guy with a good slider who pitches with his right arm, that is music to his ears.
But here's the man that is the left-handed bat in the lineup, Brad Fulmer. He is our ComEd Power profile, and this guy has been a different player since coming back from the minor leagues.
7 doubles against the Cubs, and that's to be expected. This man had 44 doubles last year. So he is our ComEd Power profile because he's hitting .368 against Cub pitching this season.
And he against Lieber lifetime 5 for 10 with a couple of home runs. But John gets ahead with strike 1. Left-handed batters hitting .359 against Lieber this year. Right-handers only .248. Grace off his glove into shallow right field. That ball was hit like a rocket. It's a base hit for Fulmer, and the lefty 1 for 1 against John today.
I'm just glad there are not more lefties in this lineup, as a lefty is hitting over .350 this year against John. But now you go back to all the right-hand hitters again. This ball is scalded. Mark Grace has it hit high off the glove, bound away. So Fulmer aboard.
For the catcher, Chris Widger. Widger hitting .277 on the year, 10 homers, 38 driven in. And he's only hitting to 4 double plays in 253 at bats. Slider ripped foul down the left field line and into the seats for strike 1. Widger, a former #1 pick of the Seattle Mariners. Came over in the Jeff Facero deal.
Against John Lieber, he's done a pretty good job of it. That young man with a souvenir couldn't be any happier.
That one exploded away from the right-hand hitter. 0-2.
With the wind blowing in as hard as it is today, Curtis Goodwin cheating a few steps in center.
That one pops off Widger's bat for a foul ball at home plate, and stays 0-2. One to nothing Cubs lead. An RBI single by Mark Grace scores Curtis Goodwin. The pitch ties him up inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, you pushed him back with 2 inside fastballs. Now's the time to go away, but looks like he's staying in again.
And again he fouls it off the catcher's body.
Usually don't have to worry about Fulmer running very much. He's only swiped 1 base this year, been thrown out 3 times, and John Lieber's hard to run against. He delivers the ball very quickly. This entire Expo team, unlike years past, is not a fast team. Just 46 steals, and they've been gunned down 35 times.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3. Slider outside corner. Widger can't believe it. And you know what he's saying to C.B. Buckner, you got to give my guy that pitch too. Was it a strike? We'll have to take a look. It is strikeout number 2.
He set him up with inside fastballs. And that one looked like it might have dipped off the corner, but let's see if it comes over the plate a strike. Mr. Buckner thought it did, and certainly that's enough.
So 2 men out now for Mike Mordecai, who walked in a pinch hit appearance for the Expos in this series. Mordecai hitting .258 with 4 home runs. And he takes a strike. The Expos near the bottom in the National League in just about every offensive category. Steve mentioned their dearth of stolen bases. Next to last in hitting, last in runs scored, next to last in homers, last in walks. High fly down the right field line. The wind pushes that into the seats. They've committed the most errors in our league. The one positive, they at least don't give up a lot of home runs. Fewest in the National League.
If you had your choice, there would be a couple of arms that you'd want off that pitching staff, however. That bodes well for the future.
I'd start with Mr. Urbina, Mr. Hermanson.
And first, Chip, what they have to do is get that stadium and ownership situation solidified. Find out where they're going to be and when they're going to be there, and that will help filter down through the organization.
And what's so funny about that situation up there, baseball is starting to run out of patience. You have 2 different ownership groups still vying for control of the franchise. You still don't have stadium plans in with baseball. You still don't have your money man from New York putting pen to paper to write the check. And you still don't have many fans coming to the games. Nieves makes the play at second. That retires Fulmer on the force play, and the Expos are shut down in the 2nd inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Cubs 1, Expos nothing. Cubs lead it by a run. Hey, it'll be great to see that man not just as a cardboard cutout, but perhaps as a member of that Cub rotation in the year 2000. Kerry Wood has begun a light throwing program for the Cubs as he continues his rehab from that reconstructive Tommy John elbow surgery. Just a light tossing 35-40 feet, but he says he feels pain-free, which is a very good sign, I suppose, and hopefully he'll be ready to go sometime next year. Jeff Reed fouls the pitch straight back as he leads off the 2nd inning, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cincinnati is tied with Houston in the loss column, but they're trailing Colorado today heading into the 9th inning.
A 2-1 game in favor of the Rockies. Reds got bad news yesterday. Steve Avery's going to have to undergo shoulder surgery. That'll finish his season for the Cincinnatis. 2-1 to Reed. Pedro Estacio, by the way, is pitching today for Colorado. He's pitching a gem. I wonder if today was Juan Guzman Day for Cincinnati. 3-1 to Reed. Out of play, 3-2. Danny Nagel got a win for the Reds last night, 6-3. Eddie Taubensie's getting hot. He's driven in 31 runs in the last 31 Cincinnati games. 3-2. And Reed goes down swinging. And there's the 2nd strikeout for Thurman in the game.
He fell behind, but a good moving fastball kept down, and he throws it right by Jeff Reed.
And here's Jose Nieves hitting .273, and he looks outside at ball 1. Nieves was very nervous in his first start with the Cubs. Looked very shaky defensively. Since, he's made every play flawlessly, and he's hit 2. Home run cut, and he missed it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Quite obviously, Steve, the Cubs are hoping that this guy can answer that question at shortstop for the team in the year 2000.
Well, it looks, Chip, like defensively he can certainly do it. He's got good range to both sides.
He lays down a bunt. Not a bad idea, but it trickled foul. 1-2.
Well, Barrett did the wise thing. As soon as he saw that ball trickle foul, he went and grabbed it immediately. Because you never know how the foul lines are banked in a visiting ballpark, and you don't want to risk that ball spinning back into fair territory, and would have been a base hit. So a good idea, but he falls behind 1-2.
And by the way, it is Estacio against Guzman in Cincinnati, although Scott Sullivan's now taken over in the top half of inning number 9, and he's in some trouble. 1-2. Nieves fought it off and fouled it off.
Jose said he realizes nothing's going to be handed to him, that he's going to have to perform, and if he does, then the decision will be made.
And he just got popped by the pitch. That one really popped him. And now Steve Melendez is out, as is Jim Riggleman, and let's see if the youngster's all right.
Looks like it hit him off the right arm, and hopefully it stayed away from the elbow. Usually it's a good sign, Chip, when they take off that shin guard. It means that they're pretty much feeling like staying in the game. It looked like it might have got him right on the logo.
That's exactly where it hit him. So he'll have the red badge of courage and then the black and purple badge of courage after the ball game. Hit batsman puts Nieves at first with one out for Tyler Houston. Tyler really had been slumping for the Cubs, but he has a 3-hit in 4 at-bat series. He's made every play defensively the last 2 days over at third base. And he swings and misses for strike 1 here in the 2nd inning. Let's pause quickly for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
0-1-2. Cub third baseman Tyler Houston, Chip Caray, Steve Stone, our entire WGN crew from beautiful Wrigley Field. The ivy looks absolutely gorgeous. The ballpark is full. 75 degrees. What a day for a ball game. And tomorrow it's an honorary Ernie Banks kind of day. We're going to play 2 against the first place Houston Astros. And those 2 Beanie Babies have some pretty good seats. The 1-1 is out of play. 1-2. Cincinnati navigates the top of the 9th without giving up any more offense to Colorado. It's 2-1, bottom of the 9th inning. Casey, Vaughn, and Larkin due up for the Reds as they try to come back and win.
That's a pretty good threesome, and Cincinnati has come back late a lot.
The pitch. Strike 3 call to the inside corner. 2 down. 3rd strikeout for Thurman.
Widger wants it in there, and that's exactly where Thurman throws it. That ball a la Greg Maddux, tailing back over the inside corner, and it was a pretty good pitch.
Well, that makes the fans at Elkhart, Indiana a little upset. Big Cub fan Mike Auger watching WGN today. And here's Liebs. The pitch paints the outside corner. Lieber hitting 121, has knocked in a couple of runs, has also struck out 10 times this year. 1-0 Cubs lead it. We're in the 2nd. The pitch fisted out of play. 0-2. Dodgers and the Astros scoreless in the 6th. Both teams with only 4 hits today. Valdez against Reynolds at the Dome. Later it's Philadelphia in Florida. Lieber went around swinging. He gets away from Widger, and all hands might be safe. He'll beat the rap at first. That's a strikeout. Perhaps a wild pitch, pass ball maybe. And the Cubs get an extra out here in inning number 2.
In some way, shape, or form, you've got to be able to block this ball when a man swings at it and you can get out of the inning. We'll watch it again. It's a breaking ball, and it just bounces up. This was a bad break because it took the high hop. Widger goes down, and it hops over his shoulder.
Looked like it hit right off the front edge of home plate and skipped away. So Thurman has a chance to strike out 4 men in the inning. But he's got to get Curtis Goodwin first. First and second, 2 outs. Goodwin bunted. A single his first time, and he drives that one into the left field corner, but the wind pushes it into the seats, and he's behind with strike one. Nieves hit by a pitch with 1 out. He's the man at second. Lieber's at first. The stretch now, the 1-strike pitch. Popped him up. That should be playable at third for Barrett in fair territory. Surrounds it and hauls it in. And the inning is over. 1-0 Cubs as we go to the third. It's 1-0 Cubs after 2 here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Cabrera, Thurman, and Manny Martinez will come to the platter and face John Lieber, who seeks his 9th win of the campaign. Tickets scarce to come by for the weekend series against the Astros. Remember, a doubleheader tomorrow. 12:05 is our first pitch. Saturday, a nationally televised game. Game time 12:15. We understand there might have been some misprints on the tickets for some of those that you all have purchased for game 2 of the Houston series. 12:15 first pitch time. That game on Fox. And then Sunday night an ESPN game as Micah Bowie will make his second start for the Cubs against Mike Hampton. We know who the 2 starters will be for the Astros in the doubleheader tomorrow. Jose Lima and Sean Bergman. We know who one of the 2 pitchers for the Cubs will be. Kyle Farnsworth will start game 1. Game 2 has yet to be determined.
Steve Traxel threw a gem yesterday, winning his 4th game of the year, and he went the distance, his 3rd complete game.
And here's a man, Orlando Cabrera, that's really hurt us in this series. Cabrera 5 for 11 with a homer and 4 runs driven in. That slider, though, awfully tough for the righties to hit. Break for Cincinnati. Sean Casey has reached on a Colorado error in the 9th. And Greg Vaughn, the batter. Cincinnati trailing the Rockies 2-1.
What makes the slider so tough for John Lieber is that he will consistently come inside on fastballs.
The 1-2 struck him out. That's 3 Lieber strikeouts, 1 away in the 3rd. Yeah, you got to love that national scheduling, Stoney. I'll be in Arizona, and Tom Brenneman, who does their games, will be here Saturday.
Good slider. Cabrera goes down on strikes. Well, that's the way it should be. You get a look close up. Actually, you can scout the Diamondbacks because they'll be coming to town, and there are seats available for the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday game.
Mike Thurman pops it out of play as he bats with 1 out. Thurman, very Steve Stone-like hitter. Lifetime, he's 2 for 54. In fact, at one point had an 0 for 43 string until he crushed a base hit against Greg Maddux.
He picked a good man to get a base hit off of.
Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, probably a slider would about do it, but they'll go to the fastball.
And he hits it.
And I would think a slider would have been strike 3, but he sailed the fastball inside. And in a close game, certainly John Lieber had other things in mind than putting a very weak hitting pitcher aboard. That one went off the left arm, and looks like Thurman's going to be okay. Trainer will come out and have a look at him, however, as this one hits just above the left elbow. Sometimes that'll make that arm go numb for a bit. They're taking a look at it. Ron McClain heads out there.
And obviously that's no retaliation for him hitting Jose Nieves. You don't want to put a guy on who's 2 for 54 in his career. But John came inside instead of throwing that breaking ball. And now he has to work off the stretch with a man at first, one out, and the top of the Montreal order coming to call. Manny Martinez struck out swinging to open up the game. And that slider just continues to be unhittable. Makes you wonder what the thought process was on that last pitch to the pitcher. One ball, one strike. Martinez 1 for 14 in the series. He's ready to get back to Montreal.
Well, they've thrown him a lot of breaking balls and they've stayed away. When they have come inside, they've come away in. Martinez tried to pull everything up in Montreal. So by staying away, you'll get that ground ball to the left side. And here comes another slider.
One ball, one strike. That one missed away. If Tony Gwynn does not get hit number 3,000 tonight, he'll try to do it in Montreal, and that raises a very interesting question. Will more than 9,000 fans show up to see him reach that milestone? The 2-1. A little squibber into right field is going to drop for a softly tallied base hit. So first and second, one out, and here's Michael Barrett.
This one just off the end of the bat. It was hit so slowly that Mickey had a chance to get to it before Sammy. We'll watch it again. As this slider doesn't do much. Martinez able to dump it into right field, and so now John Lieber in some trouble.
As Dizzy Dean might have said, that was a slider that slid.
And it turned into a duck snort into right.
I like you using the duck snort every now and then. First and second, one out. Here's Barrett. He grounded out to third. The ball took a funny hop. Tyler Houston hung with it. 1-0 Cub game. The lead in jeopardy here, however. Cincinnati battling at home. Greg Vaughn has walked. First and second for Cincinnati. Barry Larkin, the batter. One out, bottom of the ninth. They trail 2-1 to Colorado. They try to put some pressure on the Astros. 1-0. And it evens up, a ball and a strike. Barrett just 22 years old. The Expos drafted him out of Atlanta's Pace Academy.
Now you can cheat in a few steps because the wind is blowing in, and Barrett, who eventually will hit for some power, hasn't hit for much yet. Remember, you got a pitcher out at second base. He's not too used to running the bases.
1-1. 2 balls and a strike now.
What I like about Barrett is his ability to hit the ball exactly where it's pitched. Also, I've seen him inside out that inside fastball, and that's usually some pretty good hitting. That's a sign of a guy that's going to be a good one.
First and second. Now the 2-1 is pulled foul. Larkin is hit into a fielder's choice in Cincinnati. The Reds have him first and third with 2 outs in the ninth. And Aaron Boone in the batter's box. Cincinnati just a game and a half behind Houston. The Astros in a scoreless game in the 6th inning down at the Dome. Houston will be here tomorrow at noon for game 1 of a doubleheader. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Barrett. The pitch off the end of his bat toward Mickey at second. He'll have only one play. It's in time. Runners move up 90 feet to second and third. 2 outs. And Rondell White stands in. White 5 for 15 in the series. Grounded to Nieves to end the top of the first. Felipe Alou, a very patient manager. He has had to be. So many young players have come and gone under his leadership in Montreal because of budgetary situations. And I can't think of a more universally respected baseball man than that man.
Well, he's been around a long time, had a chance to go a number of different places, but chose to stay in Montreal. He was first of all courted by the Los Angeles Dodgers, but decided that he enjoyed north of the border and decided to stay there.
White looks low. I think Felipe's wife is from Montreal, so you can understand how the family ties would keep him in that city. A base hit could give Montreal the lead here as White digs in. That one up in his eyes, and Lieber got away with a pitch. 1-1.
Rondell has not hit John Lieber too well. Just 5 for 26 lifetime, but 3 of them have been home runs. Unfortunately for John, he swung through that one.
1-1. 1-2. Aaron Boone has lined out, and Cincinnati has been defeated today, 2-1. Great pitchers duel between Guzman and Estacio, but the Rockies' Pedro Estacio picks up the win. He's now 12-9. 1-2. Struck him out. He missed those 2 sliders by 4 feet. Montreal doesn't score in the third and still trails by a run. On to Discover Platinum Playback today. We turn the clock back to the friendly confines 20 years ago today. Jack Brickhouse Day at the ballpark.
I won't, but I know this much. I know that any time we've ever had things like this, I've sat up there in that booth and I've watched very wonderful ceremonies down here on the field. But it always seemed to me that it wouldn't hurt to do what I'm going to do now. And that is, instead of always facing this way, where they're marvelous, but out there behind me in those bleachers, I see the greatest fans in the world. So with your permission, I would like to turn around and give a low bow to maybe 3 generations of the greatest fans who ever lived.
Well, a wonderful tribute to one of the best. Jack Brickhouse Day is today's playback. Mickey Morandini leads things off here in the Cubs third. A base hit his first time up. And there's the honor to the legendary Hall of Fame voice of the Cubs, Jack Brickhouse. Hey, hey. On the left and right field fair poles. That was, of course, his trademark home run call. And it'll live on forever here at the friendly confines. 0-1 to Mickey. A little pop into shallow center. Out goes Cabrera with the glasses down. Morandini's retired for out number 1. Here's Grace. He has the game's lone RBI, a base hit into right field, number 61 on the campaign for Grace. Grace is now just 8 RBIs away from 900 in his major league career. So a season of milestones for him. Line drive foul. He's also 1 double away from 400 in his major league career. No balls, 2 strikes to Grace. Bases empty in the Cubs third. It's 1-2.
After 3 straight hits in the first inning, Thurman has settled down.
The biggest pitch, that broken bat double play ground ball he got from Sammy. Grace hits it high in the air. That's not going to get much done today. Martinez fights the sun and the wind. And 2 up, 2 down in the third. Here's Sosa. He's the man that was doubled up. A racing Cubs threat in the first. Off-speed pitches have given Sammy some trouble of late. That one, however, he lays off. It's 1 ball, no strikes. The Sosa meter at 42. The 1-0 evens the count at a ball and a strike. Want to send along happy 83rd birthday greetings to Jim Counts, watching in Johnson City, Tennessee today.
It's a pretty good curveball by Thurman. He throws it just above 3/4. And he's got good rotation on it, and here comes another.
Sammy looks at that one away. 2 balls and a strike.
Sammy wants to get him in a position where he has to try to throw the fastball by him.
Fouled at the plate. It's 2-2. All of the other American League Baseball is later on. Detroit's in Baltimore. Yankees are in Seattle. Boston's at Anaheim. White Sox play the A's. The 2-2. Full count now, 3-2. Astros and Dodgers still scoreless. They're in now the top of the 7th.
Well, if you've got a lot of confidence in that breaking ball, this is the time to use it at 3-2. We'll see what Widger wants. Now he's going with the heat.
Ripped. His heat's not real hot.
No, that's why you're really gambling with a fastball to a guy that's swinging the bat as well as Sammy is.
Let's see if Widger changes his mind after Sammy pulled that fastball. 3-2. Threw it right by him, and the inning is over. That's 5 strikeouts for Thurman. He's pitched to Jim, but he trails by a run. It's 1-0 Cubs. Low-scoring game at Wrigley Field. The friendly confines very friendly to the pitchers today as Vladimir Guerrero leads it off and rips it foul over the Wrigley Field rooftops. It's 0-1. Guerrero grounded to the shortstop his first time up. He's 4 for 10 in the series. Well, he looks like a throwback kind of ball player. Look at him up there. No wristbands, no batting gloves. Just that little piece of armor to protect that front leg for the foul balls. He just gets up there and whacks away. He reminds you of a young Sammy Sosa in that regard with the no ornament stuff. Reminds me of Moises Alou.
Body type almost like Roberto Clemente.
Little chopper toward
Better
third.
hurry.
Tyler better hurry. Bare hand chance. And Guerrero beats it out. The ball hits him. Now he's trying for second. Grace's throw is not in time. How about that hustle by Guerrero? That's a power hitter, folks. It runs like a gazelle.
Well, it goes as a base hit and error on Tyler. And probably there's one guy on this team that could have made it to second base, and that's Guerrero. You can't get him out at first. This ball doesn't get away all that far, and Mark Grace does a nice job of a slide and a throw. But Guerrero in just ahead of the tag at second. The call by Joe West. What tremendous speed this guy has. No doubt he's going to beat the play at first. But very few guys would have even thought about going to second base on a ball that trickled away maybe 20 feet.
Just think if that guy played in New York, Los Angeles, or here in Chicago. I mean, he'd be on the cover of every cereal box in town. And he very well could be before it's all said and done. So now we've got real problems. Here's Fulmer. Montreal has 3 hits now. Fulmer, the lone lefty in the order. A chance to tie the game or do some more damage here in the 4th. Left-hand hitters again hitting .359 against Lieber. Unbelievably, only one of them in the Montreal lineup this afternoon. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Vidro is out with a pinched nerve in his foot. They do, however, have Wilton Guerrero, but as you mentioned, Felipe Alou going with the defensive second baseman Mordecai,
and
rather than the switch hitting Guerrero.
Wilton also a much better hitter from the right side than he is from the left.
2 balls, no strikes to Fulmer with 5 homers and 26 batted in. That one rifled over the outside edge.
Well, you know what Fulmer's thinking. He's trying to pull the ball, and if you're John Lieber, you probably want to stay away from him here. Force him to try to hit the ball to the left side.
2-1. He gets the ball to the right side, pulled that pitch over the outside portion of the plate. That's a good piece of hitting, folks. He should get the high five from his teammates. He moves the runner to third, and now only one man out.
He took that sinker low and away off the plate. Was thinking about pulling it all the way, and he did get the job done, hitting it right by John Lieber and moving along Guerrero.
That's the way this Montreal team has to play, Steve. When they get opportunities to do the little things, they have to do them to win ball games.
Look how far outside this one is, and yet Fulmer able to roll the top hand over and pull the ball, and he was thinking about that the whole at bat. So now it forces the infield in at all four positions.
And here's Widger, who struck out his one and only time up there, and he hits a high fly ball to left. Drifting over is Henry. He'll set up. Here's the tag by Guerrero. Here comes the throw. It's on line and maybe a little closer than I thought it would be, but a sac fly by Widger. The advance by Fulmer leads to the Montreal run, and we're tied 1-1 here in the fourth.
Well, Henry made a good throw, but there is no way you're going to get Vladimir Guerrero from that deep in left field. So Widger drives in his 39th run of the year, and he gets the job done. With the infield in, you got a ground ball pitcher primarily having to try to keep the ball down. The first ball hit in the air.
So 2 outs, bases clear, game tied at 1. Here's Mike Mordecai, and it's fouled straight back and out of play. Happy 20th birthday to Chris Cumby from Rickman, Tennessee, watching today. He said his dream is to one day be just like Arnie Harris. That's true, Arnie. That's what he wrote. Bob Beckett from Bolingbrook, Illinois, 13 today, enjoying the game here at Wrigley Field. Flordine Morrissey celebrating her 83rd birthday in Wyoming, Illinois today. The 1-1 to Mordecai is a rocket shot up the middle. Nieves one step to his left, throws to first in time, and the inning is over. Another unearned run charged to Lieber, but it counts and it ties the game at 1 here in the 4th inning at Wrigley Field. An unearned run ties the game at 4. Stoney, how are your lug nuts? Let's find out as we look at our Illinois Lottery Hit It Big report.
Well, despite a tragic loss to Lansing yesterday, Corey Patterson continues to sparkle. He hit a home run hitting .313, 26 stolen bases, and he is starring at Lansing. So Corey Patterson and his lug nuts hitting it big for the Illinois Lottery.
Boy, all those guys down there just terrorizing the Midwest League. Aesop Choi has been hitting everything in sight. David Kelton, Jeff Goldbach. They've got a lot of players down there that have a chance to be very good professional players.
Tony Schrager went 3 for 3 with a double, a homer, 5 driven in. That was his 16th homer, so he's doing a good job also.
Henry sprays that one out of play down the left field line. 0-2. We get a lot of emails asking how Ben Christensen has been doing. He's now pitching with the Cubs rookie league team in Eugene, Oregon. And at last report, Ben was, I think, 0-2, an ERA at 7, just getting his feet wet in minor league play.
Which you can do consistently in Eugene.
That's exactly right. There's a rocket into the right field corner by Henry. Vladimir Guerrero over quickly. He's got a cannon for an arm, and his throw not in time. Stand-up double for Henry, leading off the 4th as the Cubs try to regain the lead. An 0-2 mistake by Mike Thurman.
This is a curveball that stays up, and Henry coasts into second base. But you can't take it too casually with Vladimir Guerrero in right field. So Henry aboard, representing the go-ahead run on his 21st double of the year. And now Jeff Reed will try to do what Brad Fulmer did, pull the ball.
And Jeff struck out swinging to lead off the 2nd. That's his one and only time up today. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Aaron the Bear Beanie Baby Day at Wrigley Field. Huge crowd on hand. Good pitchers duel again. The ballpark playing very big today. And Reed looks at a strike over the outside corner. You know, Thurman is going to try to keep the ball away from Reed here. What adjustments does he have to make to try to get the ball to that right side like you were describing?
Well, the same thing is try to roll the top hand over, get the head of the bat out and pull it to the right side, and there he does it.
One hopper to the first baseman. Fulmer steps on the bag. Reed does his job. Henry to third, one out for Nieves.
Well, here's an opportunity, and I'm not sure if we'll see it, but an opportunity where a shortstop and a good handler of the bat might think about laying one down. Now you're going to bring the infield in at all 4 positions, and you know that Barrett and Fulmer are thinking about a bunt, and if you're Thurman, you're thinking about keeping the ball down.
Nieves thinking about keeping the ball off his Cub logo. He was hit his first time up. Infield in. Game tied at 1. Runner at third. The pitch is missed for strike 1. Tom Gamboa gets the sign from Riggs. Flashes it to the rookie shortstop. It's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cub fans, Doug and Ginny Brown from Champaign, Illinois, want to announce their arrival of their newest Cub fan, Nathan Daniel, born this morning at 1 o'clock. So congratulations to the Browns. Fouled straight back, 1 and 2. Don Milan of Mission, Texas, 74 today. Happy 50th anniversary to Shirley and Sonny Blair. Notify us of that milestone on the internet. The 1-2 is ripped foul back again.
I would think about a curveball here for the simple reason that, number 1, you're looking for a strikeout. But if not, if you keep it down, then you'll get the ground ball, which is second best with the infield in.
The 1-2 pitch. Here it is. Oh, he swung at a terrible ball. That thing skipped over the left-hand batter's box, and a little over-anxiousness by Nieves to drive in that run there.
Now I think that you have to walk Tyler Houston. Take your chances with John Lieber.
I mean, this thing, if it was a left-hand hitter, would have hit him right in the kneecap.
That's a pretty good stop by Widger as this ball bounces well in front of home plate. It looked like Jose had just committed himself and couldn't stop.
So new career high for Thurman with 6 strikeouts. And they will intentionally walk Houston and take their chances with John Lieber in a tie game at 1. Six strikeouts, 1 walk now for the Montreal right-hander. And Lieber a chance to help himself here in the 4th inning. They're at the corners, 2 outs. Cub fan J.C. Last had a question on the internet. Who was the last Cubs player other than Sammy Sosa to hit 50 homers in a single season? That was Hack Wilson. He's the only other man to do it. He hit 56 in 1930. Andre Dawson hit 49 in 1987. Dave Kingman 48 in 79. Ernie Banks hit 47 in 1958. So Lieber stands in, not looking for a home run, but for a skinny little base hit. And Widger's got to knock everything down with that go-ahead run 90 feet away. There's our email address, CubsTV@interaccess.com. Home run cut. 1-1 to Lieber.
Well, you probably figure somewhere along the line another breaking ball is going to be forthcoming, and Henry has got to come down the line in case it gets away from Widger.
The pitch over the inside corner. It's 1-2. A leadoff double by Rodriguez. Reed advanced him to third with a ground out to the right side. Jose Nieves swung at a bad ball to strike out. Houston intentionally walked, and now it's up to John to help himself here in the 4th inning.
Widger giving the signs to the infield just in case Tyler Houston takes off. He wants to tell him what he's going to do with the possible throw.
1-2 is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They go to the bottom of the 7th inning in Houston. Dodgers nothing, Astros nothing. The 2-2 struck him out, looking inning over. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. We played 4 at Wrigley Field. Good pitchers duel. It's a 1-1 affair. Beautiful day at Wrigley Field. It's Aaron the Bear Beanie Baby Day. Our thanks to the Thai Corporation, of course, our good friends at Pepsi and WGN for sponsoring today's Beanie Baby giveaway. And all the kiddies have had their Beanie Baby appetites sated today, it would appear. And all the other kids who couldn't come to the game will be green with envy.
And a big retirement party, of course, after the game for Aaron, who did a yeoman-like job in the course of his all too brief but wonderful career.
I think they'll have a statue for Aaron out at the Thai Corporation to honor that illustrious service time.
You never know.
Here's Orlando Cabrera leading off the 5th. We're tied at 1. And the count evens up with a ball and a strike. Cabrera has struck out today. John struck out 4 men. Hasn't walked anybody, has hit a batter. Thurman has struck out a career high 7 with 1 intentional walk, and he too a hit batter, and they're locked in a 1-1 game. Hey, we'll have a blimp cam tomorrow. Monster.com will provide the blimp shots here at beautiful Wrigley Field. The 1-2. Little pop right side. Wynn pushing it back toward the plate, and Gracie in foul ground has it. And there's 1 man down. Well, I want to wish happy 50th wedding anniversary greetings to Bob and Diane Harper from their son Brett. And the Cubs TV crew here at Wrigley Field wishes a happy 9th anniversary to Al and Janelle Harper. Arnie Harris wants to wish congratulations to Blair Farwell and Nicole Hawk. They're enjoying the game today and getting ready for their big wedding Saturday in Lockport. So congratulations to Blair and Nicole. Here's Thurman. He looks at a strike. Bases empty, 1 out in the top of the 5th. Not a cloud in the sky. As Vin Scully would say, it's a cerulean blue sky here at Wrigley Field. And the slider takes care of Thurman. He's down on 3 pitches. That's 5 punch outs for Lieber in the game. The slider's been unhittable. He had to throw it every pitch. He's only given up 3 hits today.
When you face a lot of right-hand hitters, that slider becomes even a bigger weapon. Now, we haven't seen a bunt from Martinez, largely because they've been in at the corners the entire series. And Manny hasn't done much in this series.
5 straight retired by Lieber after the single and throwing error by Tyler Houston in the 4th inning. That led to the lone Montreal run. Now it's the top of the order, and Martinez, who has struck out and has singled. And he looks at a quick strike. Happy 80th birthday to Frank Sanders of Claypool, Indiana. He's watching the game with his grandchildren today. A looping line drive down the right field line into the seats. Houston has scored twice. Lance Berkman has doubled home a run, and the Astros lead the Dodgers 2-0 at the Dome.
Well, when Everett went down, everybody wondered what they would do as far as their outfield was concerned, and Lance Berkman has come up and done quite a job.
Boy, whoever they've plugged in has done a great job. Remember, they're without Ken Caminiti, they're without Mitch Molesky, they're without Ricky Gutierrez, they're without Everett, as you said. Derek Bell's not a happy camper.
They are with quite a pitching staff.
And quite a pair of players on the right side of that infield, and Biggio and Bagwell, who I think, as do you, is having the MVP season in our league.
And that pitching staff leading the league in ERA.
Ground ball hit to the dandy little glove man. Mickey Morandini has it, throws to first. 1, 2, 3, and out go the Expos. We're halfway home. 1-1 game. Super ball game here at Wrigley Field. A 1-1 affair as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Happy Aaron the Bear Beanie Baby Day with Steve Stone, an ardent collector of these fuzzy little toys. Chip Caray, and great pitchers duel between Lieber and Thurman today.
2 good pitching games in a row as far as the Cubs are concerned. Yesterday was Steve Traxel. Today it's John Lieber. An unearned run. The game is tied, but the offense very much held down by Mike Thurman.
It's funny how this ballpark can play so differently from week to week. When the Mets were in town earlier, it was a very small ballpark with all those home runs and all those blasts. Now with the wind blowing in the last several days, it's been a very tough place to generate the offense.
When the wind turns around and blows straight in when it comes off the lake, there's no doubt that you have to go to your running offense. Neither of these teams run very well, and consequently they're not scoring very much.
So Curtis Goodwin, the hitter, he's down 2 quick strikes, and Thurman had all kinds of trouble in that first inning. Gave up 3 hits, but only 1 run. Goodwin backs away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Curtis has bunted himself aboard, and he scored the Cubs' only run. He almost got hit there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, the story for this Expo team, Steve, their starting pitching has been very, very good. The last 12 games, their starters 6-4, a .254 earned run average. This on a team that's 22 games below 500. That's really saying something.
You don't have a whole lot of thunder in that lineup, and you don't have base stealers. You got some guys who can run. They just don't steal a lot of bags.
The 2-2 to Curtis. Little bloop, shallow right. Mordecai on the run. Can't get it. It drops for a leadoff hit. So there's a start here in the 5th inning. Curtis is aboard. And now let's see if he does what you suggest, and that is trying to do some running against Widger and company.
Well, I would certainly either hit and run or straight steal here against the combination of Thurman and Widger. Curtis Goodwin now 2 for 3. Able to ease it over the head of Mordecai in front of Guerrero.
So here is Mickey. He's 1 for 2 today. Tries to bunt, fouls it off Widger's glove for strike 1 called. It's been a bit of a tougher year for Morandini this year as opposed to 1998. Last year Morandini flirted with a .300 batting average all year. This year he's around .260. And he too, like so many of his teammates, a free agent at season's end. Double play ball. And Cabrera hops, skips, and throws it to first, and the Cubs have hit into their second twin killing of the game.
The problem is if you don't run, that's what you risk. And good acrobatic play by Cabrera. Curtis got down there quickly, was right on top of him, but Cabrera able to leap over the top and make the play. So the dandy little glove man grounds into double play number 7.
So bases empty, 2 outs now for Mark Grace. He has our only RBI on the day. He's a free agent at season's end. Published reports in Chicago the other day said that he might be seeking a deal financially along the lines of what JT Snow got from the Giants. I don't think the Cubs are going to give him 3 or 4 years on that deal, but I think Grace wants to have the dollars close to the $6 million that Snow got in that contract extension. High pop left side. White comes galloping in, has some trouble with the sun and the wind, but makes the play, and the Cubs are retired easily here in the 5th. We go to the 6th. It's a pitcher's paradise. 1-1 game. The pitcher's duel continues. Game tied at 1. Friends, Saturday night at 7 o'clock on WGN. The Army's got a new recruit, but he might just be too big for his boots. Danny DeVito's taking command in Renaissance Man, Saturday night at 7 on WGN. Michael Barrett The young catcher third baseman takes a strike from John Lieber. Lieber has retired 6 in a row. He has struck out 5. That slider has been biting very sharply today.
Well, if you want to see this inning end with a 1-1 tie, you'd like to get it over before Fulmer hits in the number 4 spot.
A little looping fly ball, shallow right. Sammy near the bullpen in fair ground has it. Lieber's retired 7 in a row, 1 out in the 6th. Matt Mieske has doubled home a couple of runs. Now Tim Bogar has singled home a run for Houston. They now on their way, beating the Dodgers 5-0 in the 7th. That LA team is tough to figure out. Dodgers last in the West at 47-60.
They're not that tough to figure out. When Kevin Brown pitches, they usually beat you. When he doesn't, they usually don't. And they're on their way to go 47-61.
Here's Rondell White. He hits a high fly, shallow right. Mickey drifts out, and he puts that away. 2 up, 2 down. Lieber 8 in a row retired. The unearned run looking larger and larger as this game moseys along. And here's Guerrero. He's the man that singled on the infield, took second on the Tyler Houston throwing error, and scored on the Widger sacrifice fly.
This is going to be one of the biggest outs of the ball game for John Lieber.
Well, you don't want to face that lone left-handed bat with a man on.
And also with the speed of Guerrero on any kind of base hit, he can score from just about anywhere.
Hot shot to short, off the glove of Nieves and into left field. Guerrero's going to try for 2. Here comes the throw. It's not in time. It skips past Morandini.
Well, it goes as a double, and now I got to walk Fulmer, take my chances with Widger. That is a play that Nieves should have made but didn't. And with the great speed of Guerrero, he never stops. If he thinks even there's a crack of daylight, he's going to put the pressure on the defense. He hits this ball hard, but Jose's right there. It just bounces over the glove. And with the heavy grass in the outfield, Vladimir Guerrero off to the races. Now watch him. He's thinking 2 bases right here.
Look at those strides. He's like a daddy long legs out there the way he runs, isn't it?
On a run yet. Spider.
Or an arachnid.
And that too.
So a runner at second. Here's Fulmer. And apparently the Cubs are going to pitch to him. So danger, danger, Will Robinson. Here's the pitch. It's low, ball 1.
Well, with first base open,
Montreal.
I'd be very careful with Fulmer.
Maybe we're hoping he'll get himself out. 1 ball, no strikes. That one way outside. He's been hitting too well to offer that kind of pitch. Darryl Strawberry is back. Went 2 for 4 last night for the Yankees AAA team in Columbus. He had a week shaved off of his suspension by Major League Baseball. The Yankees hoping to get him back for the last 5 or 6 weeks of the year. The 2-0 is low. 3 balls, no strikes.
One's just put him on. Don't even worry about ball 4.
And that's exactly what the Cubs will do. So Lieber will issue his first walk of the game. This one will be intentional, and we echo those sentiments from that fan here at the ballpark. 2 on, 2 out, and here's Widger. He hit the sacrifice fly. Now remember, he's had good luck against Lieber. He is 3 for 7 lifetime, and before he bats, let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
Back at Wrigley Field, Steve Stone, Chip Caray. We understand the coach Ron Santo could be back with us in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're looking about the 20th. That Colorado homestand, Colorado and San Francisco, after we get back from red hot Arizona. Although I don't know why Ronnie would want to come there.
The pitch is a ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. I don't think he could take the tormenting that our pal Tom Brenneman would be giving him down in the desert. Speaking of the Diamondbacks, they got some good news. Todd Stottlemyre's made his first rehab start. Ground ball hit toward third and foul. We might see Stottlemyre that final game out in Arizona. He went 4 shutout innings in the Arizona Rookie League yesterday. Stottlemyre's been out with that rotator cuff problem, and that would be a nice lift for the D-backs, who continue to lead out west.
And they're playing good solid baseball at home. They got off to a great start. They're 33-20. And they have a 3.5 game lead over San Francisco.
1-1 to Widger. Off the end of his bat, 1-2. That slider has been the unhittable pitch for the most part for Montreal. Let's see if he throws another one here. One game in the 6th. The 1-2. He laid off. It was the slider. The appeal at first denied by Angel Hernandez, and it's 2-2. Lieber ready now. The 2-2. Line drive into shallow left field's going to drop. Guerrero's going to score. Heading toward third is Fulmer, and Montreal takes the lead. Chris Widger's driven home 2. 2-1 is our score with 2 outs in the 6th.
Widger now has 40 runs batted in. And he's the sum total of the offense today. Widger hits this one off the end of the bat. It's a fastball, catches too much of the plate. And the Expos have the lead. So the Guerrero hustle for the second time today turns into a run.
Think he could be a 30-30 guy someday, Stoney?
There's no doubt about it. He's going to hit the 30 home runs every year. And he just has to learn a little bit more about pitchers' moves. You know, and then you ask yourself a question. Do you want the real lone power guy in your lineup to do that much base running? But there are very few guys in this league that get down the line faster from home to first.
Well, his high is 11 with Montreal. His minor league high was 17 for the Expo organization. But you don't hear about the 30-30 much anymore. Heck, you don't see guys stealing bases unless you're Ricky Henderson or Roger Cedeno anymore, it seems. Mordecai pops this ball up to the shortstop. Nieves in it and under. He's got it. But that double that skipped over his glove proves to be the go-ahead run for Montreal. Guerrero has scored twice. Widger has knocked in 2. And after 5.5, the Expos lead it 2-1. Well, a couple friends of WGN enjoying the game today. John Enright and his young daughter Catherine having a good time here at the friendly confines. Welcome to both of them. Hope they enjoy the ball game. And thanks, Grandma, for the tickets on Beanie Baby Day at the ballpark. Hopefully the Cubs can rally for Aaron. I don't think we've lost a game on Beanie Baby Day the last couple of years. We're down 2-1 today.
4-1 on Beanie Baby Days. Playing good solid 800 ball.
If only every day were Beanie Baby Day. Well, Sammy could tie it up. Remember, he hit a home run on Sammy the Bear Beanie Baby Day last year. Maybe today he can hit one on Aaron the Bear in the 6th. Sosa is 0 for 2 today. He struck out and hit into a double play. By the way, we want to send along greetings to our pal Jose Hernandez. Made his Braves debut last night in Pittsburgh. And Jose, we know you're going to see better times. 2 strikeouts and 2 double plays against the Pirates.
Well, now Sammy has Thurman exactly where he wants him at 2-0. Let's hope he gets careless with a fastball.
Well, how about the rally by Thurman in this game? He's been terrific. That fastball blazes across. 2-1 to count.
Well,
7 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and it was intentional.
After 3 straight hits in the first inning, he got Sammy to hit the ball off the end of the bat. They turned 2. He got out of that first. And 2 harmless base hits after that. Seen the Cubs trail by a run.
3 balls and a strike. Want to send along get well greetings to Robert Stencil, his son Mark, our graphics operator here on WGN. Bob Stencil recovering from knee surgery. Bob, get well soon. 3 balls and a strike to Sammy in our 6th. It's a full count, 3-2. Sosa, Rodriguez, and Reed against Montreal here. The pitch off speed, taken outside for ball 4. That's the 2nd walk given up by the Montreal right-hander.
And that represents the tying run. So Sammy this year hasn't been running a lot, but he has stolen 6, been caught 5 times. And Henry takes a long look down at Tom Gamboa, who says hit one out of the park and put the Cubs on top.
Well, his double leading off the 4th inning has proved to be a big play in this game. The Cubs advanced him to 3rd with 1 out, but were unable to score him. And now we trail it by a 2-1 tally, and he looks at a knee-high strike. 0-1. Activity begins now in the Expo pen.
It's like Anthony Telfer.
Not only does it look like him, it is him. Fouled straight back. It's 0-2. Nice to see Dustin Hermanson and Jeremy Powell last night at Harry Carey's restaurant downtown Chicago. They enjoyed themselves tremendously. We try to make them feel better with a little post-dinner dessert.
Well, those guys from Kent have excellent taste in restaurants.
No doubt about that. The 0-2 pitch is lined again out of play, and Henry fighting tough here in the 6th. A home run would be music to our ears as well here. A little high fly ball hit to left. Rondell White has a beat on it, flips those glasses down and puts it away rather shakily. But there's out number 1 here in the 6th. Joliet Jeff Reed will be the batter. He's 0 for 2. Let's check out our Cubs upcoming schedule, brought to you by our good friends at the new Pepsi AC.
The Houstons are in town for a doubleheader tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday, and the Diamondbacks then right here on WGN on Monday night. And that's the upcoming schedule for the new Pepsi AC chewable.
1 on 1 out for Reed, who has struck out and grounded out. The ground out his last time up, a good play. He got the runner to 3rd with 1 out. But the Cubs unable to score Henry Rodriguez.
I like the Houston's chances today, Chip, to go.
Just got 6.
66 and 43. They will undoubtedly come into the series with a 2.5 game lead over Cincinnati,
who lost 2-1 today. Pedro Estacio outdueled Juan Guzman at Synergy Field. The Reds now a game below 500 on their home turf. But now they get very happy. They go on the road and they'll play Milwaukee tomorrow. Sosa back standing at the first base bag. Cubs have wrapped into a pair of twin killings today. Reed, with catcher's speed, stands in the batter's box. 2-1 Expos. They have 5 hits. The Cubs have 5. Sammy running. The pitch lined out of play. It's 1-1. The best pennant races are in the National League. The Mets now a 2-game lead over Atlanta. The Phillies 6 back. The Mets streaking. They've won 4 in a row. Houston by 1.5, soon to be 2.5 in the Central. Arizona by 3.5 over the Giants. Again, Sammy leads at first, not going this time, and it's a rocket hit to right at Guerrero. He's got it. He's got a cannon. He's going to throw back to first, and a close play. Sammy just did get back.
And Sammy looks out at Vladimir, his countryman, and goes, "What are you trying to do?" Well, he's trying to double you off, Sammy. But Sammy, with a good piece of base running, able to get back before that rocket-like throw. Jeff Reed hits this ball awfully hard, and Sammy takes a few steps. He knows that Guerrero can get it there in a hurry, and after a slight bobble, he just unloads. Sammy back well ahead of the throw.
Well, that's an amazing throw considering he did fumble it, and it could have ended up rolling into the right field corner. So a bad break for the Cubs. A good play by Guerrero, and now 2 outs. Runner at first for Jose Nieves, who's been hit by a pitch and struck out swinging.
I think this is a good time to gamble for Sammy stealing a base. Might get a breaking ball on the first pitch.
Not going. It was a breaking ball, and Nieves hits it to left field. Station to station for the Cubs. That's the 6th hit in the game. Nieves now with his 4th hit of the year. He's 1 for 2, and a base hit by Tyler Houston could tie the game.
Scott Sanders now will start to loosen up. It's Tyler Houston looking for RBI number 27.
It's been feast or famine for Tyler. He has struck out. He's been walked intentionally, but 3 hits and 5 tries in the series. First and second, 2 outs here in inning number 6. Glad you're with us from beautiful Wrigley Field. The pitch is a ball high. 1-0. Wild card race in the National League. Cincinnati and Atlanta deadlocked, although the Reds fall a half game behind the Braves. The Phillies are 4 games back. The Yankees, Cleveland, and Texas all have huge divisional leads of 6 games or more. The 1-0. Sprayed foul out of play. Wild card race very interesting. Toronto by a half game over Boston. The Oakland A's are 2.5 games back. Seattle, despite being a game under 500, is only 5.5 back. And the White Sox are 6.5 back, and they're 3 under 500.
Well, that's what makes this a big series for the White Sox at Oakland.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Missed a letter high delivery, and it's 1-2.
White Sox winners of 3 in a row, starting to play some pretty good baseball and starting to get, once again, some pretty good pitching.
Kip Wells came up, pitched a great ball game.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
Head back to Birmingham. Tyler tried to get out of the way. It stays 1-2, but that White Sox team, they've got a lot of young offense. Everybody loves Maglio Ordonez, Chris Singleton, Carlos Lee. They've got their all-star in Ray Durham. Have some problems defensively that they're going to have to solve on that ball club, however. But there's more help down on the farm, and the future looks very, very bright for the Southsiders.
And Fordyce has been a big surprise behind the plate.
Yes,
He's done a nice job for them.
He's hit well, too. The 1-2 to Tyler. Rifled into right field, base hit. Guerrero comes up ready to fire. Sammy's rounding third. The throw is in time. What a scoop and tag by Widger. How in the world did he make that play? Guerrero throws out Sosa at the plate. A scoop and a bang swipe tag keeps the game 2-1 Montreal. Unbelievable. No slide by Sosa. And a laser beam throw. The pick and the tag, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. What a play by superstar Vladimir Guerrero. Bang play at the plate takes care of Sammy Sosa, keeps it 2-1 in favor of Montreal. Surprised Sammy didn't slide here.
Well, what a pickup by Widger. And Sammy has a choice. He can either bury him or slide around him, and he does neither. He just kind of gives him a concession speech.
And it turns out he was out by plenty. But what a pickup by Widger, man. That was gold glove caliber defensive work there.
That's a real tough pickup because that ball is coming in like a rocket. And on the short hop, he picked it.
And now Cabrera hits a looping line drive into center. Goodwin charges, can't get it, keeps it in front of himself. And it's a looping leadoff single by Cabrera as the Expos look for some insurance here in inning number 7. Now we'll see a pinch hitter. It will be Wilton Guerrero. He'll bat for Thurman, who works 6 innings of 1-run baseball.
Now we'll see if Felipe Alou is in the bunting mood. Normally Guerrero will bunt for a base hit, but he does have 3 sacrifices this year. And I'm thinking he's going to lay one down. But Mark Grace better be careful on releasing too soon, because Wilton can pull the ball down the line.
And a throw to first sends Cabrera back to the bag.
Cabrera has good but not great speed. As you can see this year, been a pretty good pinch hitter.
The bunt is on, but he takes outside. Stoney, they're watching in Great Britain today. Larry Pearl of the Royal Air Force in Upwood enjoying the game on satellite. By the way, congratulations to the Queen Mum. 99 yesterday. So happy birthday.
Very durable.
Absolutely.
That was Pete McCannon going through a set of signs.
No balls and a strike to Guerrero. Seen enough of the Guerreros for my taste this year. The pitch. The bunt is foul and out of play. Thurman pitched to Gem today. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, 2 walks. 1 of them intentional. He struck out a career high 7. 1 wild pitch, 1 hit batsman, and threw 105 tosses for Montreal. He's in line to win it, but the Expos could stand a little insurance. It's 2-1 here in the 7th. No balls, 2 strikes to Guerrero. Felipe Alou will not be pleased if he can't advance the base runner here. He gets the bunt down. He bunts it to Tyler. 1 play and 1 play only. Sacrifice. 5-3. Runner to second, 1 out. Good play on the 0-2 pitch.
That's a pretty good effort when you're bunting a slider at 0-2 and you're able to put it in play. So the 4th sacrifice for Wilton Guerrero. Now they'll try to plate the all-important insurance run. Good effort by Guerrero.
So to the top of the order we go, and Manny Martinez, he's 1 for 3, a single back in the 3rd. With the Cubs trailing, John Lieber's spot is due up first in the 7th. He's going to give us everything he's got in this inning, for you'd figure he'd be pulled for a pinch hitter. We will see if indeed that is the case. Expos 2, Cubs 1. The pitch. Slider outside corner. That has been his bread and butter today. Happy birthday to Mel Hayes, watching in Bloomington, Illinois. He's 78 years old today. Magella Colgan, watching in Wyoming, Illinois, is 81. 12 children as well for her. The pitch out of play.
Doesn't live in a shoe, does she?
No, that was Magella Hubbard.
Oh, okay.
Sarah Jo Jacobson in Bessemer, Michigan, watching the game with 2 broken wrists. I'll bet Sarah Jo was rollerblading. Just a guess. They're watching in Fort Wayne, Indiana as well today. 0-2 to Manning. It's 1-2. Little looping fly ball hit to right. Sammy in and has it. 2 down. Good jump by Sosa.
That was a good play by Sammy. Cheating in because the wind is blowing straight in. He was able to run down that line drive that looked like it was going to fall when it left the bat. Martinez just tries to serve it into right field, but Sammy comes on and the ball stays up long enough. So now you have to deal with a pretty tough hitter in Michael Barrett, but he's handled him very well here today.
Barrett is 0 for 3 today, 1 for 6 lifetime against Lieber. The man that had been tormented by the Cubs right hitters so much in his career was Guerrero. He was 1 for 13 coming in today. Well, he has singled, he's doubled, and he scored the 2 Montreal runs. So today was his day. At least it's been that way to this point.
Well, he's run himself into those 2 runs because he's probably the only guy maybe in this league that could have done what he did today.
1 ball, no strikes. Line drive, right field, base hit. Cabrera rounds third. They'll wave him. The Sosa throw is on the money, but they call him safe.
Well, Jeff Reed might have missed him because he's not arguing, and Sammy got it there in time. But a very good slide by Cabrera, and it looks like he might have slid around him. Sammy made a real good play, charging this ball aggressively, and like his counterpart in right field, he got it there in time. Now we'll watch it again and watch Cabrera. He flashes by and
tagged his hand. He tagged his hand. He was out.
Well, I think that Reed would argue if he thought he got him. Watch it again, and we'll watch Cabrera as he goes to the back of the plate. He missed him.
He didn't tag his hand.
He missed him.
He did miss him. So give C.B. Buckner credit. First glance, thought he tagged him on the hand, but the umpire, without the replay, got the call right. So Montreal leads it 3-1 now. A big 2-out hit by Michael Barrett, and here's Rondell White. He has been mystified all day long today. Another look.
Well, Sammy does his job. He gets the ball there, charges it aggressively. And Jeff Reed well in front of the plate. Now, he might have been forced there, but had he been back a half step, he probably would have been able to tag him.
Inside, 1 and 2 are guest conductors for the 7th inning stretch, the Elgin Children's Chorus. Children's choir here at the ballpark today. They'll conduct the stretch in a moment. The 1-2. Ground ball hit to the left side. Nieves in, up. Patty Cakes throws high, but in time. Inning over. Montreal scores a big insurance run with our 7th inning stretch. Here's the Elgin Children's Chorus. Montreal got a big insurance run. Shane Andrews into play third base. Anthony Telford in to pitch. And Jeff Blauser pinch hits for John Lieber. The line on Lieber, very, very good today. 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, only 2 earned. Walked a man intentionally, struck out 5, and hit a batter. But he's down a pair now. 3-1 Expos have the lead.
Jeff Blauser with a couple of pinch home runs this year, 6 for 25 overall. There you look at the numbers. John Lieber, all in all, did a pretty good job. Just 2 of the 3 runs earned. But unfortunately, at least to the moment, he leaves trailing.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Blauser. The pitch. It's off the catcher's glove, Widger, and it's a strikeout. Blauser did not foul that ball off. He asked C.B. Buckner if it was a strike at which he swung. The umpire said no, and there's out number 1 here in the 7th.
Houston shuts out the Dodgers 7-0, so they will come into the doubleheader tomorrow with a 2.5-game lead.
And Cubs fans, Sunday, August 8th is Sammy Sosa commemorative lapel pin night at the ballpark. The first 10,000 adults attending the Cubs-Astros game get a Sammy Sosa commemorative lapel pin, compliments of ComEd. ComEd, what do you do with your power? For tickets, call 312-831-Cubs. Curtis Goodwin is the Cub hitter. He is 2 out of 3 tonight. Came in with a 4 for 45 slide. But he apparently has righted the ship of late. And the Cubs running out of outs. Just 8 left. And Telford misses high, I guess. 3-0.
It will be nice the Cubs can get a run or two before it's Uget Urbina time.
Goodwin takes the automatic for a strike.
Yes.
Big Sammy Sosa and Cub fan. Sonia Larson turns 7 today. Watching the game at home with her dad Steve. Here on WGN, the 3-1 pitch. Right through there.
That's Steve Klein loosening up in the bullpen.
Payoff pitch to Goodwin. And he pops it up. They'll test Andrews early. Battles the wind, battles the sun, and battles the camera well. 2 men down. Two up, 2 down here in the 7th. And here's Mickey Morandini. Mickey is 1 for 3. He singled in the first. Couple of big plays in this ball game offensively for the Cubs. In fact, 3 of them, to my way of thinking. Cubs had 3 hits in the first inning. Sosa hit into a double play after we scored just 1 time. In the 4th inning, a leadoff double by Henry Rodriguez. Jeff Reed advanced into 3rd. The Cubs unable to drive him home. Then in the 6th inning, Sammy thrown out at the plate. Morandini with a single up the middle sets it up for Grace, who represents the tying run. So the Cubs have had chances, Steve, in this game to score more than just 1 run, but have not been able to do it against Montreal today.
Now the outfield probably has to back up a couple of steps. They've got to cut off the double in the alley.
Runner at first, 2 down, and now time is called. A ball gets away from the Cubs bullpen. And that's where Scott Sanders continues to loosen. 3-1 Expos. They're trying to take 3 out of 4 from the Cubs here and 5 out of 7 from us. Last year, remember, Montreal went 0-6 at Wrigley. Not so this year. They've played us very, very tough.
One of the best parts of this year is that the Cubs don't have to travel to the artificial surface of Montreal twice. That's been a very tough place to win over the years.
Telford makes a fine leaping grab, throws out Grace, and that retires the Cubs in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 8th. Vladimir Guerrero to lead it off for Montreal. Montreal by 2, looking for more in the 8th. Here's a look at our Ameritech playbook. 2 crucial plays at the plate.
And they both went the wrong way for the Cubs. A great pickup by Widger, and he cuts down Sammy. And on the other side of the field, Sammy makes a good throw, but Cabrera makes a better slide right around Jeff Reed, and that's been the difference in this one.
Scott Sanders on to pitch the 8th. Guerrero hustling down that line, nearly beat out a slow chopper to second. That's something else you got to love about that guy. He plays hard every pitch, every play, and he's out number 1 in the 8th.
When you get the reputation of running down the line like he just ran down the line, it puts added pressure on the infielders anytime he hits the ball on the ground. This is a routine grounder to second, and I mean, he's out by a 1/4 of a step.
But out he is, thankfully. And now Sanders will try to deal with Fulmer. Fulmer 1 for 2 against John Lieber. Was walked intentionally, but Widger spoiled the party by driving home the 2nd Expo run in the 6th. This guy's a good-looking player. And he looks outside at a ball. Interesting note before the game, Steve, heard some whispers that the Cubs might be invited to open the season next year in Japan, which would be very interesting.
I think the team has to vote on that, and we're not sure about the results of that. Absentee ballots aren't in yet.
A fly ball hit to center. Goodwin can't get there in time. And Fulmer's aboard with 1 out in the 8th inning. What's going to be very interesting, if indeed that is the case, A lot of guys that are voting as to whether or not they're going to go to Japan may not be here next year. So it might be a nice little parting gift. Yeah, guys, enjoy that 14-hour flight to Tokyo or Osaka or wherever the heck we're going. And as soon as we find out if indeed that is the case,
maybe Kobe,
we'll let you know.
Because you can't beat the beef in Kobe.
There's no question about it. Here's Chris Widger, 2 RBIs today, but the play of the game for me is that scoop and tag of Sosa, who was bearing down on him. Sammy had a chance to level him at the plate, and he kept on standing up and was tagged out by a step and a half.
Widger has really improved swinging the bat.
Well, they've got Barrett, who they think is going to be their catcher of the future. I don't know if I'd give up on this guy quite so soon.
Well, it could be that he's coming into his own a little bit later. He's not really that young a player anymore, but he hit just .233 last year. And this year he's up close to .280.
And I'm sure his contract is not going to be all that big for the Expo team.
Well, it's something along the lines of $3.5 million or so for another couple of years, and then an option for the year after that. So that's fairly desirable when you have a guy that you could possibly lock up for 3 years beyond this one at, by today's standards, a nice moderate salary for a starting catcher.
Pop straight back toward us. And that echo you heard was the ball hitting Steve's cranium. 2 balls and a strike.
I would have had that one all the way as it rolls back down into the crowd.
Well, our friends from the Score today are at the end of the press box, not wearing any gloves. No one's eating any sandwiches like we saw yesterday. How could Les Grobstein miss that easy pop fly that was hit to him? That's just amazing to me.
It's the hands of a sturgeon.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Looks like Guillermo Mota throwing in the bullpen.
Ripped into the left field corner. That's trouble. Henry turns and admires it. A line drive homer by Widger. He's driven in 4. And just like that, Montreal might have put it out of reach. It's 5-1.
That's the 11th home run for Widger, who had 15 last year, and that's why this man is fairly valuable commodity. There is a scarcity of catchers around, and he just seems to be getting better. 4 runs driven in today. He's been a one-man gang, and he's got 42 for the year as Sanders throws a fastball middle in. Widger hits a line drive rocket against the back fence, and the Expos threatening to take 3 of 4. This team that came in with the worst record in baseball.
They haven't looked that bad against us. They beat us 2 out of 3 in Montreal. They've outpitched us. They've outhit us in this series. And it's all started with their starting pitching, which in the 4-game set has been very, very good. A 2-run Chris Widger homer here in the 8th. 5-1 Montreal, and Mike Mordecai the batter. He takes ball 2 low. Our senior producer director of Cubs baseball is Arnie Harris. Today's game on WGN produced by Pete Toma. Mark Brady's our associate producer. Our stage manager, the lovely and talented Kathy Kerr, who is feeling better today. Executive producer of WGN Sports, Bob Vorwald. Diving try by Nieves in shallow center, couldn't get it. It's an infield hit for Mordecai. 3rd straight Montreal hit in the 8th. Mordecai 1 for 4 now.
And the bullpen up and going once again, and it looks like Steve Rain. This ball back up the middle. Sanders tries to get a glove on it and actually does. And both Sanders and Nieves deflect it. And so now Reed told to go out and give the bullpen a chance.
Hey, we forgot to do the attendance game today.
I say it's 38-8 something.
I'll say 38-850 something. 38-857 the official tally today. And what's Mark Grace doing? He's going with Felix Heredia's glove. I think his first baseman's glove must have broken. So this could get interesting.
Oh, he's going to be fine. As they sprint back feverishly to find his other first baseman's glove.
Who is our glove doctor? Used to be Bob Patterson.
Yes. But it'll take a little too long for him to fix it.
It's Steve Melendez. Look at the caring hands of the glove surgeon at work.
Well, if you've ever come through the minor leagues as a trainer and then an assistant trainer, one of the things that you have to do is be able to fix gloves.
Off the end of the bat of Orlando Cabrera. It's 1-1. Most players have a backup, but every player has a favorite, their gamer. And usually the backup's not quite nearly as broken in as a glove like the one you see from Mark Grace. So Steve Melendez will try to get that one back into playing shape here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner goes. Pitch cut on and fouled away. It's 1-2. Now look at Steve. Look at those nimble fingers. And Dave Tumbas found the backup. Not a gold glove, but a black glove. And our thanks to Orlando Cabrera for fouling pitch after pitch away so that Grace wouldn't be tested with that mere fielder's glove.
Well, he'll go with the backup for a while, but then they'll get the regular one done.
1 ball, 2 strikes. It's downstairs. Delayed steal now, and Mordecai's out by a mile.
Oh, that's a good play.
Caught stealing 2-4. Somebody must have missed a sign there. That helps the Cubs. 2 men out.
You don't expect this kind of delayed steal from Mike Mordecai, who doesn't have particularly good speed. And Joliet Jeff guns him down easily.
So 2 outs, 2 in for Montreal. And it's outside 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. A defensive swing. It's into the front row. Nice catch by one of the fans on a bounce.
And he gives it to a very young Sammy Sosa fan.
The payoff pitch to Cabrera. Ripped toward the shortstop. Nieves backhand stab. Long throw across in time. Good throw. Good play. Inning over. 2 runs, 3 hits, none left. 7.5 are in the books, and Montreal's broken and open. It's 5-1. Here we go to inning number 8, the bottom half that is. And Cubs fans, Wednesday, August 11th, your chance to receive a limited edition Cubs Cabbage Patch Kids collectible in the Cubs road uniform. First 10,000 kids 13 and under. Attending the Cubs D-backs game, get a Cubs Cabbage Patch Kids collectible. Compliments of Kraft, Jewel, and CLTV. For tickets, call 312-831-Cubs. That Wednesday game, if all holds to form, could be Randy Johnson pitching for the D-backs here at the ballpark. So you won't want to miss the big unit as he comes a-calling here at the friendly confines. Here's Sammy Sosa. He's 0 for 2, a double play, a strikeout, a walk, and he was also thrown out at the plate.
Terry Adams throwing in the bullpen for the Cubs, and Steve Klein in the bullpen for the Expos, who find themselves now with a 4-run lead.
High pop-up on the infield. Who wants this rain bringer? Andrews has it. 1 down.
Well, that was up there for a long time. And Anthony Telford continues to roll right along.
So Sammy 0 for 3 with a walk. And here's Henry. Came in hitting .331. That's about where his average will be for this at bat. He's 1 for 3 today, but he will be facing a left-hander. Steve Klein's going to come on and pitch here in the 8th inning with the bases empty and 1 man out. It's Klein against Henry, we think, for the moment. We'll be back with the Expos leading 5-1. Sun-splashed crowd in the bleachers today. Cubs trailing 5-1. And Steve Klein, the lone left-hander in the Montreal bullpen, called upon here to retire Henry Rodriguez.
Klein comes in at 4-3, an ERA at 3.80, and he's been a busy man on for the 53rd time. So Telford does a nice job in relief of Thurman. He goes an inning and a third, gives up a hit, no runs. And Klein, the third of the Expo pitchers, and the bullpen keeps going. And it's Guillermo Mota with Benito Santiago in the on-deck circle.
And it's a strike to Henry. It's 0-1. One ball, one strike. Expos playing pretty good baseball of late. They've won 6 of their last 10. Remember, they came in with the worst road record in baseball, taking 2 of 3 so far in this series, and on their way to 3 out of 4. The Detroit Tigers will become baseball's worst road team. They only have won 17 times away from Tiger Stadium. 2-2 the count. The 2-2 is rolled foul and out of play. 5-1 Montreal the lead. Other finals, Houston blanked the Dodgers. Steve told you about that. 7-0 the final. They're in town for a twin bill tomorrow. Colorado beat the Reds 2-1 in a thriller at Synergy Field.
Henry fouls that one right off his foot. I don't know how many times I've seen it. A guy wears a shin guard. It really doesn't matter where he wears it. The ball always hits him in another spot.
Two balls, 2 strikes as we approach the 4 o'clock hour. The pitch. Breaking ball chopped toward first, and that's foul. So Henry will do it again. Pitching matchups not quite set for that Houston doubleheader tomorrow. Kyle Farnsworth and a pitcher to be named for the Cubs. Jose Lima, Sean Bergman go for the Astros. We'll have it for you beginning at 12 o'clock Chicago time here on WGN. We'll have both games of that doubleheader televised for you. And our friends with the Fox Network take over Saturday afternoon. Tom Brenneman and Bob Brenly, I believe, will have that game as Kevin Tapani and Scott Ellerton lock horns.
And there's a lot of folks that have tickets that say 2:20 on them, but it's a 12 o'clock start tomorrow.
Henry grounds it in fairground this time. Fulmer surrounds it, steps on the bag, 2 men down.
Benito Santiago will be announced, and you would think that Klein would stay in to face him.
And then the final game of the Houston series is a Sunday night game. That'll also be national telecast on ESPN. Micah Bowie will go for the Cubs. Mike Hampton will seek his 16th win for the Astros. Then we welcome the Diamondbacks in town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and there are a lot of good seats available for that series.
And that is a real entertaining team to watch, folks. Matt Williams, Steve Finley, our old friend Louis Gonzalez.
And they are hitting home runs in frightening bunches. They hit 5 of them last night in beating the Giants. Jay Bell hit his 28th. Louis Gonzalez is 18th. Steve Finley hit 2 of them. He's got 21.
He hit 3 in the first inning against Joe Nathan, and for all practical purposes put it away.
And the Giants 3.5 games back now. No balls, 2 strikes to Benito Santiago. That one skips up there. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. is fouled back to the screen. Santiago hitting .233 with 5 homers and 29 driven in. Well, the scouting report, we told you before the game the difference when Michael Barrett catches and Chris Widger catches, that it was about a run and a half different. Nothing wrong with the game Widger caught today, and the offense was spectacular. He drove home 4. Bonino lays the bat on the ball and loops a single into left field for a pinch hit here in the 8th. And that'll bring Jose Nieves up. Jose is 1 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. This game's not over by a long shot, but the Cubs need a couple of runs here to have a chance in the 9th. That's in for a strike. Ground ball up the middle. Cabrera at short. Throws out Jose. And the 8th inning is in the books. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left. We go to the 9th. Montreal leads at 5-1. It's 5-1 Montreal. We go to the 9th inning. A couple of changes for the Cubs now. Manny Alexander into the game on a double switch. He'll play shortstop. He'll bat in the number 9 spot for the Cubs. Bonito Santiago stays in the game behind the plate. And on the mound is right-hander Terry Adams. A tune-up opportunity for him here in the 9th inning with the Montreal team ahead by 4.
Adams with a pretty good ERA of 3.41, on for the 29th time.
Klein bats for himself, and he looks at a strike. Oh, 0-2.
Klein's a switch hitter. He's been consistent.
Hey, made contact. Not a bad swing that time. 0-2 the count. Let's pause quickly for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
Go ahead.
Oh, he's got to sacrifice this here. Now he's 0 for 1.
Oh, 1 man down. Adams strikes out his opposing pitcher. What kind of a sacrifice? A live rooster or just an at bat?
Let's see, what kind was it? Oh, of the bunting variety.
All right.
But that was from the left side, where he's a little better hitter.
Here's Manny Martinez. He is 1 for 4 on the day. Doubleheader tomorrow, so sleep fast tonight. A lot of baseball tomorrow with the red-hot Houston Astros in town.
There's a young lady
here at noon.
Shaking up that soda. That'll make her folks very happy.
Just don't open it.
Here, Mom, open this up. It'll cool you off.
2 balls, no strikes. The Expos leading by 4. We're in the 9th. And Terry misses high. It's 3-0. Three and 1. The 3-1. Fouled straight back. It's 3-2. Cubs have drawn 1,771,000. A chance to go over 1.8 tomorrow. in 49 home games. Adams walks Martinez. One on, one out. And here's Andrews. Ten Montreal hits, just 9 for the Cubs. The Expos go home and wait to see if they need to put any champagne in the visitors clubhouse tomorrow. For Tony Gwynn and the Padres are coming a calling. They'll be in for 4, then the Dodgers for 3. Come on, Terry, throw a strike. 1 ball, no strikes.
Andrews hit a home run in the second game of the series. But it's been a tough year for him, especially after hitting 25 last year.
Hey, just can't seem to get that batting average above the 200 mark with any kind of consistency. This is a man that was a first-round pick of the Expos, but he hasn't generated any power, hasn't generated any average, and hasn't generated any trade interest. They're stuck with him for a little while. Close play at first, and Martinez just back.
Martinez with 16 steals, been caught twice, but most of those steals came in the first month of the season. And then he got hurt. I think that Manny read the pitch out there. And he took a couple of steps but went back.
Andrews, nicknamed the Caveman, went to Carlsbad, New Mexico High School. That was their nickname, and he's kept it as his own. 3-0. Come on, Terry.
Well, you got a big lead. Might as well give him the 3-0 green light. See if he can hit another home run here.
It's right down the middle. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1 runner goes. The pitch inside, ball 4. A strikeout, 2 straight walks in the 9th by Terry Adams.
Well, that ensures, barring a double play, you're going to have to face one of the real big thorns in the side of the Cubs today, Vladimir Guerrero, for he is in the on-deck circle. However, Rondell White has grounded into 9 double plays this year.
Two on, 1 out for White, and the bullpen gets busy again. Steve Rain limbering up as Adams cannot find the strike zone at all. And now Marty Demerit out to talk to Terry. And as they talk about throwing the ball in the strike zone, Cubs fans, fine line is 100% Cubs coverage. This month's issue explores the route home run hitters take to achieve power, providing case studies of Sammy Sosa, Henry Rodriguez, and Atlanta Braves shortstop Jose Hernandez. Also, Jim Riggleman defends his demeanor. You'll also check out a candid look at Wrigley Field through the lens of a roaming photographer. To order Vine line, call 800-248-WINS. 800-248-WINS. And the glove doctor, Steve Melendez, has repaired the gold glove of Mark Grace. Ever since Adams Saw that black glove of Gracie, hasn't been able to throw a strike. Maybe that'll be the cure for him here in the 9th inning. It's 2-0. And Dr. Evil waiting on deck, Vladimir Guerrero. Runners go. The pitch grounded to the shortstop. Manny flips to second. One on to first. Two. A double play, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits. One man left. To the bottom of the 9th inning we go. The Cubs need 4 to tie. It's 5-1 Expos. Saturday night at 10:30 on WGN. It was one of the most violent FBI shootouts in history, based on a true story you don't want to miss. In the Line of Duty, the FBI murders. Saturday night at 10:30 on WGN. We go to the 9th. It's Tyler Houston to lead things off. Not impossible, but very difficult with the wind blowing in to hit a lot of home runs here in the 9th inning. Cubs trailing 5-1 to Montreal. And a strike is called. Bullpen activity begins for the Expos. Should Klein encounter any difficulty, Ugueth Urbina gets set, as does Mr. Mota. The pitch. 0-2. Houston, Alexander, and then Curtis Goodwin. Hopefully a couple of those guys will get on, and a couple runs will score for Sosa and company, who lurk in that Cub dugout. That one fouled off Widger's glove. The Expos are 3 outs away from taking 3 out of 4 from the Cubs. Will fall back to a game below 500 at home, barring a 9th inning rally. And then we get to see the Killer Bees tomorrow. Biggio and Bagwell and Bell and Berkman. And the always entertaining Jose Lima will pitch in one of the doubleheader games tomorrow. The 0-2 strike 3 call of the outside corner, a changeup. Tyler outguessed, 1 man down in the 9th inning.
The Southwest Airlines Plainview camera will take a look at pretty good pitch over the outside corner as Tyler Houston takes a look at it. And there is the aforementioned Plainview camera of Southwest Airlines high atop Wrigley Field.
Manny's been one of our best pinch hitters this year. This, however, not a pinch hit appearance. He came in defensively in the last half inning. C.B. Bunkner might be hearing it from somebody in the Cubs dugout, maybe Tyler Houston, and now he's pointing that way. Here in the 9th, Glenn Allen Hill has grabbed a bat. Tyler's unhappy. May have left the batting helmet out on the warning track in front of the Cubs dugout in protest of that strike 3 call. Manny hitting an even 300, no homers, 14 runs driven in. There's the G-man. He could hit one out today, give the crowd something else to cheer about. No homers for Sosa today. Sammy 0 for 3 and was thrown out at the plate. Manny lines it down the right field line. 4 big plays in this ball game. Cubs got 3 straight hits to open the game, and Sammy hit into a double play. The Cubs in the 4th inning. The game tied. Got a leadoff double by Henry Rodriguez. Sent him to third with 1 out. Failed to score him. And he fouls that off his body. In the 6th inning, after a leadoff walk, the Cubs got 2 straight 2-out hits from Nieves and Houston. Sammy Sosa thrown out at the plate by Vladimir Guerrero. Sammy out by a step and a half. Didn't take out the catcher and did not slide. It was a great pickup by Widger on the play. And then in the 7th inning, Montreal got another run, a base hit by Barrett that scored Cabrera, who did slide around the Jeff Reed tag.
Then that home run by Chris Widger, who has driven in 4 runs today. Made things a lot more comfortable for the Expos.
That one missed low, I guess, and it runs full to Manny. 3-2 with Hill waiting next. (5-1) Montreal the lead. We're in the bottom of the ninth inning. The 3-2 chopper toward third, but right at Andrews in time to first, and Glenn Allen Hill will be our final hope today. Hill hits for Goodwin. Curtis finished up his day 2 out of 4. And here is Glenn Allen. Cubs 1 out away from dropping our 34th game in our last 51 outings. 51 games ago, the Cubs were a game out of first. But a 17-33 slide has dropped us into fifth. Hill 3 out of 19 with a couple of pinch homers. And he looks low at ball 2. Mike Thurman 1 out away from winning for the 4th time this year. John Lieber 1 out away from falling to 8-5. And a huge crowd today, 38,857, hoping for a late rally here at home. Morandini, then Grace, then Sosa, but 2 are out. And Hill takes strike 1. 3 balls and a strike. Hill draws the 2-out walk. So he's aboard for Mickey Morandini. Morandini is 2 out of 4 today, 2 singles. First walk for Klein. Still not a save situation for Urbina, and 2 left-handers on anyway. Morandini, then Grace. If it gets to Sosa, you'll see Urbina, and you'll see Felipe Alou chew on some antacid tablets. The pitch, a good breaking ball. Rally caps are on. That looks like he wears the rally cap all the time. 0-1. The runner goes. Defensive indifference allows Hill to reach scoring position. And he stands there with 2 men down. The 1-1 pitch is high. 2-1. Missed with that one. It's 3-1. If Mickey reaches, it would be a save situation if Felipe Alou goes to the pen. You cannot pitch yourself into a save. But he's pitched the Expos into that situation, and now the decision for the Montreal manager, and I think he's going to make it. It'll be Grace against Urbina. 2 on, 2 out. The Expos with a 5-1 lead. Houston struck out looking. Alexander grounded out. Goodwin, or I should say Hill and Morandini walked. It's Grace against Ugueth Urbina. Back with more in a moment. And 2 on, 2 out, 2 2-out walks here in the 9th inning for the Cubs. And now Mark Grace will have to stand in against one of the best closers in our league, right-hander Ugueth Urbina.
He's looking for save number 23, on for the 48th time. And he's fanned 67 men in 50 innings. Has given up 5 home runs, however. And much of that ERA, that's at 3.96, has been accumulated in non-save situations. But this guy's got a tremendous fastball. He's one of the premier closers around.
But he's got to get through Mark Grace here, for Sammy Sosa's waiting on deck. Grace 1 for 4 today, and Urbina blazing fastball high at 27th out. Always the toughest to get. Right over the outside corner. Looked like he took a bit off of that pitch.
Well, Grace has killed him during the course of his career. He's hit 600. On the other side of the coin, Sammy just 1 for 10 lifetime. But he'd love an opportunity to make that 2 if Mark can keep it alive.
And Sosa is the man that would represent the tying run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outside, 2-1. We said earlier, after that Widger home run, that might put it out of reach. That's why we didn't say it didn't. For the Cubs, who try to put together a 2-out rally here in the 9th. The 2-1. Line drive into right center field. Hill will score. Mickey to third. And the tying run will come to the plate.
Mark Grace, who is hitting 600 against Urbina, keeps it alive just out of the reach of Mordecai. And the second run batted in today, number 62 this year. And Sammy comes up representing the tying run. And that guy hasn't given up yet.
The guy kind of looks like the Prez, doesn't he?
Prez of what?
Of these here United States. Here's Sammy, a chance to be the hero. 2 outs, 2 on. Oh, what a rip. It's 0-1.
Well, he got the first ball fastball he was looking for and fouled it straight back. Number 43 ties it up, folks.
And unties the home run chase. He and Big Mac tied at 42. McGuire shoots for 43 and 500 career tonight. The 0-1. Swung. There's a drive. Hit high in the air, but not high and deep enough. White at the warning track has it, and the Expos survive in the 9th. Sammy just missed it, and the ball game is over, and Montreal has won 3 of 4 from the Cubs here at Wrigley, but not without an exciting finish. The Rally Caps almost came through, and Harpo Marx thought he was able to pull us out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 5-2 the final score. The Cubs lose 3 out of 4 to the Expos. Totals, highlights, and more right after this. Here are your totals from today's ball game. The Expos take 3 of 4 from us. Final score 5-2 today. Each team with 10 hits. The Cubs the game's only error. Mike Thurman now 4-7. John Lieber falls to 8-5. Urbina saved number 23. Chris Widger drove in 4 of the 5 Expo runs. The Cubs now 2-5 on this longest homestand of the year. Our Budweiser play of the game. It came in the 6th. Tyler Houston with a second straight 2-out hit for the Cubs. Vladimir Guerrero came up firing. Sammy a big turnaround third. Great pickup by Chris Widger. Sosa didn't take out the catcher, did not slide, did not matter. He was out by a mile, and Montreal wins our ball game. Busy day tomorrow. A twin bill against the first place Houston Astros. The Killer Bees in town. Game 1 of 2 begins at noon right here on WGN. We'll have every game, every play for you here on the Superstation. Thought Sammy Sosa was going to tie it in the 9th. He just got under it, and the Rally Caps nearly came through in the bottom of the 9th inning. Montreal wins it 5-2. Our final score. For Steve Stone and our entire crew, this is Chip Caray. Thanks for joining us. Here's your invitation. Stay tuned. The 10th inning show is coming up next.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN was brought to you by Budweiser, who salutes America's responsible drinkers. Ameritech, in a world of technology, people make the difference. Pepsi, the joy of cola. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Southwest Airlines, offering low fares and frequent flights. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Chicago Cubs.